everyone, welcome to Looming Maestro. I am your host Vedant Chawla and today we are going to learn respiration in organisms. So this is a chapter of science. So stay tuned with us till the end of this video so that you don't miss anything about this interesting chapter. So what are we waiting for? Let's start with our session. So respiration. We are going to learn what is respiration and why do we respire. So the process of breakdown of food or the glucose with the release of energy is called respiration. Cellular respiration takes place in the cells of all organisms. So each cell of an organism performs certain functions, each or the other, like transport, excretion, reproduction, and the nutrition. So to perform such tasks, the cell needs energy, and therefore all the living organisms respire to get energy from the food. So there are two types of respiration, the aerobic and the anaerobic, and the organisms that respire anaerobically are known as the anaerobes, and this respiration occurs in the muscles if the oxygen level is less. So now we are going to learn that what is the difference between both these two respirations. So in the aerobic respiration you will see that this takes place in the presence of oxygen, where the anaerobic respiration takes place in the absence of oxygen. The end products of the aerobic respiration are the CO2 and the H2O. CO2 is equal to carbon dioxide and H2O is the chemical formula of water. And when you see the end products of anaerobic respiration, the end products are CO2 and alcohol. And aerobic respiration produces a large amount of energy, where the anaerobic respiration produces energy but is comparatively less. And the aerobic respiration occurs in most of the plants and animals, whereas the anaerobic respiration occurs in yeast and some bacteria. So these are the equations which are very important. We are going to learn the equation of the aerobic respiration. So here you will see that this always occurs in the presence of oxygen, and the end products will be carbon dioxide plus water plus energy. And this is a equation of aerobic respiration taking place in our muscle cells. Whereas when you see the second equation, you will notice that this is the anaerobic respiration, and it is clearly written that without the use of oxygen, means it is occurs in the absence of oxygen, and the end products are carbon dioxide plus alcohol plus energy. And this is the equation uh, um, where there are three end products. And just for a reference, to make wine and beer, yeast is used because the yeast produces alcohol, and this is a very important fact. And when you will notice the third equation, you will see that this in here also it is written that without the use of oxygen, means it occurs in the absence of oxygen. So this occurs in the absence of oxygen because it is anaerobic respiration. The end products are lactic acid plus energy. So energy and lactic acid both are important for our body, but the accumulation of lactic acid may cause muscle cramps. So now we are going to understand the human respiratory system. We are going to understand what is human respiratory system. So before just seeing the diagram, we will see some facts. So one breath is equal to one inhalation plus one exhalation. So some people say that one breath is equal to one inhalation, some people say one breath is equal to one exhalation. But actually one breath is equal to one inhalation as well as plus one exhalation. And second fact is adult human being at rest has a breathing rate of 15 to 18 breaths per minute. So now let's see the diagram, where you will see the nasal cavity, then you will see the pharynx, then you will see the larynx, then you will see the bronchioles, then the alveoli that is situated inside the lungs, then you will see the diaphragm that is a muscular sheet, and you will see the bronchi, you will see the lungs and the trachea. So trachea are the air tubes. Okay, so now you will see the working of human respiratory system. So while inhalation, the nostrils take in air that is rich in oxygen, and the air passes through the pharynx and enters the trachea, also called the windpipe. Trachea bifurcates. Bifurcates means divides into two stems called the bronchi, and the singular name of bronchi is known as bronchus. Two lungs are situated inside the chest cavity and they rest on a large muscular sheet called the diaphragm. Each bronchus enters the lung on either side and gives out repeated branches named as bronchioles. So now we'll understand the working of human respiratory system. Bronchioles supply individual cells of lung named as the alveoli, and the singular name of alveoli is known as the alveolus. So each lung is made up of approximately 300 million alveoli. A group of alveolar cells are surrounded by the blood vessels. Oxygen that enters the lungs is exchanged with the carbon dioxide carried by the blood. Carbon dioxide rich air is released through our nostrils by the process of exhalation. Here's a flow chart, flow of air in respiratory tract. So the white arrows represent the inhaled air, where the red arrows represent the exhaled air. So first, while inhalation process, the air reaches a nasal passage, then it passes through the pharynx, then it goes to trachea, then the bronchus, then the bronchiole, then alveolus, then exchange of gases happens, and then the opposite process occurs while the process of exhalation. Here's a diagram, and this diagram is very important. So here's in the A part you will see the inhalation process. So in the process of inhalation you will see the ribs will move up and outward, whereas the diaphragm moves down. And in the exhalation process you will see that in the exhalation process you will see that the ribs are moving down and inwards, where the diaphragm moves upwards. So this is a table which is very important as well. Composition of inhaled and exhaled air. So the percentage of oxygen that is inhaled is 21% and the exhaled is 16.4%, where the percentage of carbon dioxide inhaled is 0.04% and exhaled is 4.4%. So now we'll learn respiration in cockroach. A cockroach has small openings on the sides of its body called the spiracles. It is a network of air tubes called the trachea for gas exchange. Oxygen rich air rushes through the spiracles into the tracheal tubes and then diffuses into the body tissue and then reaches every cell of the body. Similarly, the carbon dioxide from the cells goes into the tracheal tubes and moves out through the spiracles. And we are going to learn the respiration of earthworm and frog. So the earthworm skin is moist and slimy and it has many holes, so the gases can easily pass through its body. And when we look at the frog, though the frog have a pair of lungs like the human beings, they can also breathe through their skin, which is moist and slippery. So the frogs have a dual or a twin mode of breathing, where while on the land they can breathe through their lungs, and when they are in the water they can breathe through their body or their skin. They breathe the oxygen in the water that is dissolved. So the So just me tell you so let me tell you that the oxygen is also dissolved in water, and the aquatic animals that breathe so the aquatic animals breathe that oxygen only that is dissolved in the water. And now we'll see the respiration in fishes. Gills in fish help them to use oxygen dissolved in water. Gills are projections of skin and are well supplied with blood vessels for exchange of gases. So the fishes have gills through which they can breathe. Now we'll learn respiration in plants. So the leaves of the plants have small pores known as the stomata, and the stomata can open and close through the help of the guard cells, and hence they can breathe through these small pores. They can exchange oxygen and carbon dioxide in the cells. Oxygen is used to break down the glucose into carbon dioxide and the water as in other organisms, whereas the roots take up air from the air spaces present between the soil particles and conduct respiration to produce energy. So both the leaves and the roots both can breathe or respire. So thanks for watching my video. Please like, subscribe and share. And when you subscribe, please hit the bell icon so that you stay notified. Thank you. See you again.